In journalism, we have sources. These are people that work at places where we're looking for the real news. And so, what do we do with them? We have this confidential relationship that they can tell us exactly what the news is. Now, in journalism, you protect the source. In other words, if the source tells you something, you can't quote their name in your story because they told you secretly. Nigerians are used to asking for evidence, proof. Journalists never need evidence to show you or proof. We protect the source. It's David Hunting that started that brand of nonsense, always wanting validation. You should never show anybody proof of anything. Let me give you an example. So, in front of my house, there was a shootout between two men on an Okada and a car driven by a pastor and his assistant pastor. After they did the shootout into the car, the driver and the passenger were both dead. That's both pastors. They now went to the boot of the car, the trunk of the car, and opened it and took out one big bag. They got back on their bikes and they went. All through this, I was watching them. Now, the people in the car didn't come out, so that's why I knew they'd been really shot bad and they're possibly dead. When the shooting started, everybody on that street, cars, Okadas, the people selling mango on the street, the people hawking in the middle of the road, everybody scattered. Then when these guys left, everybody came down. I'm watching from the top balcony of my house. Believe it or not, you know the reaction that happens when things like this happen? I was not filming it. I just saw it with my eyes. When everything died down, the crowd went towards the car. The kids at Ikolaba High School, I just come out. So the kids to all, the car, crowded area, police were on their way, all that. A lot of blood. So what did I do? I went downstairs. We locked the gates, and I went outside to the scene. These guys were really shot bad. I mean, why? Nobody knew the root of everything, but there was a girl there called Nike. Honestly, I can use Nike's name as I'm talking to you now. Nike was a graduate who didn't have a job, did her NYSC, so she was selling produce by the street. Nike sells apple, mango, everything. She ran and all her fruits were on the ground. She was like really terrified. When she came back and arranged her fruits and everything, I went to Nika and I asked her exactly what happened. Nika said, as these guys were coming in the car, there's a bumper in a corner there before our house. We live next to Justice Esho, the late Supreme Court judge. So that bumper makes people slow down because it's a sharp corner. So what they do is when a car slows down a bumper, they now rob the person. So they must have trailed them from the bank. Turned out the bank was GT Bank, and they were just coming from the bank with $4 million in the trunk. Money given to the church, donated to the church, and they were going to have a church event where they're going to have a caterer, tents, everything. And they went to withdraw the money to take to all the different vendors. The thieves were outside, one was inside. They monitored them, and then they followed them. The thieves themselves may know about the whole operation from the church. That's why you can't trust any employees. At the end of the day, with that long story I just told you, Nika told me everything, how they came to. She didn't tell me about the bank or which bank. She just said how they came towards that bumper and slowed down. The Okada guys came from nowhere. She saw it all. Now, when I went back into the house, I wanted to file the story for my blog. I got a call from Nigerian Tribune in Ibadan. You know that's in Ibadan. Someone at the newsroom, I was working for them as a music journalist at the time. Someone at the newsroom called me and said, hey, Kemi, what happened near your house? We just heard from the news wires. Like, it looks like literally was in front of your house. They said he called up by estate next to Justice Esho's house. I said, yeah, we saw everything. I saw everything. And so the newspaper wanted me to file it as a story for the paper. So when the story now goes in, it'll just say, armed robbers attack motorists, but it's said by Kemi lawyer. So I filed it for my blog. I filed it for the newspaper. In my story for the newspaper, am I supposed to say eyewitness Nike and her last name told me this. No, you don't put the names of the source in your story because you protect the source. This is what Hyundai is missing. It's different when you call yourself a journalist versus when you actually go to study it, you know, like the ethics of journalism. I said it in one of my videos earlier that David Hyundai was like leaking military documents. So the thing about Nigerians is everybody wants a proof of this, proof of that. Journalism is not a profession where we give you proof of anything. You believe what we tell you. So people today want to manipulate journalists because they feel that we have big platforms. Not every journalist has a big platform. Mine is very big. So they're intimidated that you're using your platform to spread the truth. They call it lies and propaganda. Many of them are scared. They'll be begging me behind. Oh, look at what happened with those Aboki guys. They came and said, oh, I have to write about Uromi. I have to. I'm like, wait, whose page do you think you're on? I retired on February 9th. Did you ever contribute to my work? No. Don't tell me what to write about. I'm doing health now and digital content. In 30 days, health is gone. Then another one said, you have not sympathized with us. They were trying to get me. First of all, I didn't even know about anything that happened in Uromi. It was them that started this thing. I hadn't even checked the story or see what happened, but you come to my page and like, you haven't sympathized with us. I said, sympathize with you for what? They said, some of our people were killed. I said, and so? Are you guys not terrorists and bandits in the forest? I hadn't even known about the story. And I said, I'm not a human rights activist. Go to the human rights activist. Okay, go to Davido. Go to VDM. VDM is from Edo State. Davido's mother is from Edo State. He recently identified with Edo State during his marriage. Go to those big celebrities. Leave me alone. Told him the right thing. They try to use your... When I did not use my platform to talk about it, next thing you know, I was being called Ashawo, all kinds of names, curses. That's when I went to study the story. And I discovered it was a case of where people have been missing, kidnapped, raped. I pulled out the files I had about Uromi. It's gotten worse. So now what happened was that you're going to your hometown for Salah and you decide to branch in Uromi and the vigilantes kill them. All 16. Those guys have been operating there for a while. The people that were killed, they've been operating there for a long time, and it's just like one day you get caught. You know what I mean? So many people are still missing in Uromi. I read the story of the guy who said his mother's been missing for a while and the governor has never come to visit them. The governor traveled to Kano to visit the governor of Kano. Now, you know that Monday is just working with the feds, you know. He's succumbing to Ashomole Tinubu and a whole lot of them in APC. And that's really what's going on. Unfortunately, when it's time. But journalists don't have to prove anything to you. We just do our job and we have to protect the source. If you don't protect the source, you know, what happens if you're the source? If I put your name in my story, would you like it? If you just give me something and I not publish it. I have sources in the Nigerian police, 8 officers. EFCC, 4 people. DSS, 3 people. Presidency, almost 30 people. How do you think I told you that Abakari, chief of staff, died? Where do you think I heard it from? The sky? Or I'm a prophetess too? You have to have good sources. That's why David Hyundai was jealous, and a lot of his followers saying, which FBI does she have a source? You think I just guessed all that hush puppy stuff and everything was correct? I have 5 sources in the FBI, and FBI is not just FBI now. FBI is separated into like 7 different branches now. FBI Washington, FBI Seattle. I got so much information. You know, you must have a lot of sources that would give you the information. Hey, Kemi, I got something for you. Here you go. Don't forget to mention my name. That's how journalism works. Protect the source. This is a good video if you know anybody in journalism school or mass comm school. They need to know that.